Hello, my friends. Okay, so this is a planetary weather report for Capricorn rising. You can listen for Capricorn sun or moon, but I recommend you listen to this for your rising sign because it's just more accurate. And this is for July 21st through 24th, roughly. So there's a couple of things happening this week that I'm focusing on. Jupiter is having its kind of last hurrah in Pisces, and it's meeting with Venus, and that's really great. Then we're getting a full moon in Aquarius on Friday. So what does this all mean? So Jupiter has been in your third house of siblings, neighbors, neighborhood, your daily routine, maybe daily communications or education or something that's just a basic daily, stuff that you, emails, whatever, but also really focusing on siblings, neighbors, immediate daily life. So that means Jupiter is the planet of more, of abundance, of expansion, of possibilities, of opportunities, of optimism, and generally just seeing a bigger lay of the land. So if Jupiter is increasing things and possibly giving you more of something like that, maybe you have seen for the past 2 months, Jupiter expanding that world of siblings, neighbors, neighborhood, daily life in some way, like getting a little bit of help, a little bit of optimism, a little bit some kind of helpful energy going in there. And that is great because Jupiter right now in Pisces is in like one of his best functioning places because it's his home sign. So he has all of his tools and he has all of his everything with him to function the best. And we like that. It's important. Jupiter will be, he is in reverse, in retrograde, going backwards. So that happens often. When he reverses enough, he's going to go back into Aquarius. And Aquarius is not exactly his favorite place. It's kind of more like if you went to an Airbnb and it was okay, but it wasn't like amazing. It was just like, yeah, it's cool. I'm getting what I need. It's not terrible. It's just basic. So that's kind of like Jupiter regressing back into Aquarius. He's leaving his place of like, I have everything, it's amazing, to just sort of like, nah, it's okay. And this is kind of important because Jupiter won't be back to that strong place of having all of his tools in your third house of siblings, neighbors, neighborhoods until basically New Year's Eve. So basically like December 28th, literally like days before New Year's Eve. So that's pretty big. Like we want to, make the most of these moments when he's in his strongest place. So right before he moves back, we'll talk about that next week because that's all of next week. But right now I want to talk about Wednesday and Thursday of this week. He's having kind of like a last hurrah with Venus. And Venus is the planet of love, beauty, romance. Well, it could be relationships. It's how we find pleasure in the world or how we see beauty, values, money. So Jupiter and Venus coming together in an opposition, but still they're meeting together. That is very good. It's harmonious. It's bringing more maybe beauty, more luxury, maybe extravagance or support or indulgences. It could be, it could just be just a very nice time. I mean, especially in your third and ninth, something to do with your neighborhood, something to do with your siblings or day-to-day life, but then something to do with your bigger idea of the bigger picture, the bigger belief system, religion, spirituality, maybe something to do with foreign travel. That's where this is happening. Venus is in your ninth of the big belief system, and then Jupiter is in your third of the siblings neighborhood. So the only thing I can say about that for everyone is that have your fun, do whatever, enjoy this moment, and like they're coming together to clink champagne glasses, and that's wonderful. But we need to like rein it in a little bit. Just watch out for maybe going overboard, like eating too much, buying too much, overextending yourself too much, like saying that you're going to do something that becomes completely way too inflated and then it's unsustainable. I could see things like that happening. Like you just went overboard in some way, and you know, you just threw caution to the wind a little bit too much. That's the only thing I could say about Wednesday, Thursday. Like, have a good time, enjoy the feelings or whatever that's coming in, but like keep it a little bit in check. And then on Friday, the full moon in Aquarius is happening, and that is happening in your second house. So your second house is your money house, your assets, your earned income, things that you own. So a full moon right there is kind of a culmination, or it's a harvesting, especially of the last 2 weeks of like, this is where we are now. Like this is shining a light of it's not exactly closure, but it's like coming to this point of like, okay, we started here and now we're here. Looking at that second house, like highlighting things there. Well, what is in your second house? Well, it just so happens that Saturn is also in your second house. And Saturn is not exactly a party planet. Saturn is like, we have to do the hard work, or here's all this red tape, or there's like these rules, or, you know, we have to conserve this, you know, what's the word? Just maybe tightening your belts a little bit with assets or money, and maybe just getting serious about it, being serious about like, we have to take control over this. We have to build boundaries or foundations. So that has been there since like late December of 2020 for you. And it's, you know, it's doing what it needs to do. It's creating a foundation. It's not exactly fun though. So I feel that this moon is sort of shining a light on, hey, remember all that stuff back there? Yeah, we kind of need to go back and focus on this, because it's going to be coming up again and be highlighted for the rest of this year and into next year, when we're going to get eclipses on these points. So, and what has just happened from late June to early July, especially 4th of July weekend, like that first week in July, things got really like, what's the word? Tense, hectic around that time, with that second house of money, and then your 8th house of other people's money, spouse's money, taxes, inheritances, something to do with power dynamics or debts or something like that. And then the 5th house of pleasure, creativity, recreation, fun, romance, maybe children. So those areas have been like really the kind of spotlighted conundrum that we've been working with. Everyone has these planets somewhere circulating in their chart, and in yours it just so happens to be there. So it's like something we've been unraveling and working with, and the knot is tighter, now it's loose, now it's this, for for all year, but especially when it just got highlighted in late June, early July. So I feel like the moon is sort of saying, here's a full moon, let's take stock of what we have, but let's remember that we have to go back to that Saturn. He's needing some kind of attention right now. And that is good, because Saturn cannot be there alone. It's too restrictive. It's too laden with, the responsibility and everything. And now Jupiter next week, and I'll talk about this more next week, happens to be moving back into Aquarius in your second house. So Jupiter moving back into your second house, that's great. Jupiter, abundance, luck, opportunities, possibilities, moving back into your money house of assets and earned income. I would see that as a good thing, that you could possibly see more opportunities to make money or something to better the assets or money that you have. Because Saturn has been just sort of like, yeah, we're not going to do anything, or don't, it's Saturn is kind of locking down or restricting in some way. So Jupiter moving back in next week will hopefully help that area. I think it will help that area very much. So I think that is what I want to say for Capricorn rising. And yeah, just Wednesday, Thursday, enjoy the Jupiter Venus. Don't go overboard with something. And then the full moon, maybe see what's being highlighted as far as that second house of money. And then know that you will be getting more help and support coming in next week when Jupiter goes in there as well. Okay, so that is what I have, and I will be back next week. Thanks.